Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Brand Momentum Morning Show. I am Faith James, your host, for those of you who don't know me. And this show is all about getting you into momentum. It's your source of vitamin I, as I like to say, I for inspiration. It's where you come to get your groove on as it regards your life, as it regards your business. So, go ahead and share this video. Invite your friends, colleagues, anyone that you know is also on the journey to more life, on the journey to improving and empowering their state in this world. And let us get started. As you know, for those of you who follow the show, we read from a book that is at its core aligned to this idea of getting you into momentum, getting you motivated, helping you get out of your own way. So come on in, say hi, share the video. Let's go. Good morning, Sharon. How are you, my love? I'm so excited to see your beautiful face. So grateful that you're here. So this is a book. If you are not familiar, let me move my tag. If you're not familiar, it's Mastering Leadership, Shifting the Drift and Change, Shift the Drift and Change the World. It's by Michael Strasner, also best-selling author of Living on the Skinny Branches. I have had the great pleasure, the distinct honor of being trained by Michael Strasner in a leadership program that I tell you, if you want to know anything about it, just message me. It is life-changing. Absolutely life-changing. Good morning, beautiful. Yes, Karen says, let's go. How's the weather out there where you are, Karen? Karen lives on a beautiful ranch. Good morning, Lisa. Beautiful. Yes. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Amber. Beautiful. How are you? Yeah, I love when everybody is early. As we say in the program, leaders are early. So here you are. Karen says it's wet. But listen, and we give glory to God, right? Because we know the grass, the trees, the plants, the agriculture, all of it, the animals need the water. So yeah, I can't, Sharon, oh my gosh, glory to God. Won't he do it? But here you are. So fantastic. Okay, so let us begin. So as I mentioned last week, as we go through the book, I'm going to be skipping around, but definitely do go grab a copy. This is definitely a book that you want to have in your library. So we are on page 29. We're starting off with distinction number 1. So the promise in the book, right? There are 12 distinctions of master leaders. We're starting today on distinction number 1. Let's read. Vision, where leadership begins. So if you've ever considered yourself a leader, you've considered yourself, somewhat of a subject matter expert or an authority in your industry, very first question you get to ask yourself and answer, do I have a vision for my life? Do I have a vision for what it is that this life that God has gifted me with? Do I have a vision for what I get to do here on planet Earth? If you do not have that, so there's a difference between having an inkling, having an idea, versus having a clearly articulated, delineated vision statement that drives every single thing that you do, both in your personal life as well as in your business life. Yeah? So, vision, where leadership begins. Ask yourself the question, do I have a vision? What is my vision? So, the definition of vision, the sort of traditional definition, the act or power of anticipating that which will or may come to be. The master leader's definition is as follows: an operational context for life that overtakes the ego and becomes the fuel that drives action. A declaration to create something in the future, the possibility to create an unprecedented life and living experience for self and the world. So there's the first clue. Your vision statement gets to be not just about you, it also gets to be about mankind. Here's an example. My vision for the world is to end the epidemic mindset of fundamental scarcity so people can see what's available for them when they choose to be abundant in every imaginable way. When we regularly invest in ourselves and also are generous with our energy, time, money, and talents, we all rise together. Jenna Phillips Ballard, co-founder, Ascension Leadership Academy. So that is an example of what a vision statement might look like. Start thinking about yours as we go. Master leaders have a powerful vision. Vision is often considered synonymous with words such as dream, goal, or mission. However, as it pertains to master leadership, the meaning of vision is distinctive. A visionary is someone who brings the future into the present. Let me say that again. A visionary is someone who brings the future into the present. Visionaries are pioneers who stand in the future as if it already occurred, not as they hope it will be someday. Master leaders develop ideas that most never imagine, ideas that, when created, are a benefit to humankind in some way. Many people have flashes of an idea that may seem extraordinary in the moment, but what usually happens is the idea becomes a fantasy, a nice dream that might happen, but probably won't. Master leaders take an ordinary idea and turn it into a burning desire and vision that becomes irresistibly contagious to others. True leadership cannot exist without vision. And true vision is a compass, a guide for every aspect of life. For master leaders, vision is a context to operate from, and it creates something that cannot happen without their full participation. Vision is where it all begins. Very similar to when it comes to building your business, building a brand. When I work with my clients in my Platinum Brand Experience, one of the first things that we do is to articulate your vision statement, right? Because the vision, as Michael says, it's the guide, it's the compass. What does a compass do? It gives you direction. It shows you where to go. So if you just wake up one day and just decide, you know what, hey, I'm going to jump on this entrepreneurial train. I think I like butterflies. I'm going to do something with butterflies. I'm not really sure. I'm just going to go. I'm going to make butterfly t-shirts and start selling them. But you haven't taken the time to stop, to think, what is it that I want to see for the world? So if your vision, I'm totally making this up now, but if your vision is that butterflies make the world go round, butterflies are the epitome of more life. Butterflies are the epitome of what God created us to be transformed from a caterpillar, right? A caterpillar looking like a weak worm of the dust, just crawling around in its belly, munching as it goes, to be transformed into the highest expression of this beautiful, magnificent, regal element of the animal species. And that, for me, that is what I want to see for the world. That is what I want to see for women in the world. Let's just say if you were, really focusing on empowering women, that the butterfly becomes the transformation that you want to see women go through, from being caterpillar weak, I'm not worthy, nobody likes me, my butt's too big, I'm not good enough, I'm a fraud, transform into this amazing, beautiful species. then you would have that as your vision statement and articulate it in such a way that then that drives every single thing that you do. Right? Then you can go create the shop, the store, the t-shirts. Then you can start creating courses that are focused on transformation, like, float like a butterfly. Right? You can have master classes on how to move through this world with ease and grace, just like the butterfly. You can have, lives that talk about be a monarch. Which butterfly are you? I mean, I could go on for days, but do you see how I've just created literally a brand expression and marketing plan just from literally focusing in on the vision that I want to see women completely transformed into their full essence and glory, that is my purpose for being. You get to also do the same thing. You get to have a vision statement. Let's read on. A vision-driven life. I declared a personal vision 32 years ago. My vision is to create peace, love, unity, and abundance. Yet my vision is not just about me. I just said that, right? My vision is a win-win for everyone, including you. Vision is declaring the existence of something in the future that is unprecedented, unpredictable, and does not yet exist. I like to say, be so completely irrational with your vision. Be so completely irrational. You don't get to be small. You don't get to just, sit in a corner and make excuses for your presence. God says, enlarge in the place of your territory, enlarge in it. Vision is declaring the existence of something in the future that is unprecedented, unpredictable, and does not yet exist. Vision is declaring that you're going to create something in the future that takes your quality of life and your experience of living and brings it into being, into a higher level of consciousness. Vision is not something that just happens. It's something you declare. It's something you create. Yes. Yes and amen. Kabir, my love, how are you? It's good to see you. What part of the world are you in today? I love it. I love when everybody comes in. So do you have a vision? If you don't have one articulated, if I were to say right now, I'm coming over, show me your vision statement, and you're like, let this be your opportunity. This is not about judging you. This is me showing up to support you. If you don't have one, what did I say at the top of the hour when the show opened? Get your notepad. Always come to the show with your pen in your pad. Start writing at the very top. My vision is, or my vision for the world is. Oh, you are. That's right. You did tell me you were going to be there for a couple of months with the team. Love it. Okay, so Karen says 13 years ago when the vision statement for my company was written, we are still watching it grow and transform. Yeah. And hear me when I say to you, when you create the vision, I mean, you can maybe tweak around it, but you get to create this thing that is literally coming through you from God. So it's not, oh, you're switching up what you're doing from here. Then it's just an idea. Then you just brainstormed some streams of consciousness. Wasn't the vision because it comes from here. Michael talked about burning desire, right? A furnace in the belly. So keep that in mind as you either start to create it today, or once we're done, I'm going to ask you to jump over into the Facebook group, the Savvy Branders Tribe, and we're going to, I'm going to be looking at your statements. If you want support and you want to share it there, that's where we're going to do that. So for me, it looks like this. I wake up in the morning and begin consciously, not in a fog, consciously creating the future that I declared, an unprecedented future, a future that is unpredictable, that would not have happened without my full participation in it. And I do that daily, whether it's with my wife, my children, my coworkers, my business partners, or my community. My vision drives my life. It is possible to create the life of your dreams and a win-win for the world. It's not a new concept. Author Thomas More introduced the concept of a utopian life in the 14th century as a place of ideal perfection, especially in laws, government, and social conditions. What are you thinking right now? Are you asking, maybe from your comfort zone in the drift, really, Strasner? You want me to believe I can create utopia? Yes, why not? We all create the drift and have been since the beginning of humankind. Through vision, a utopian life, an unprecedented life for each of us and all of us is possible. You have to believe that it is possible. All things are possible. I told you the story before of when President Kennedy went to the NASA scientists when he had declared that he was going to send man to the moon. And he asked them, what is it going to take to get a man on the moon? And they didn't come back with a whole bunch of mechanisms about how much money or how many, barbs of steel to create whatever and none of that. The NASA scientists said the will to do it. The will to do it. What is it going to take to get a man on the moon? The will to do it. So keep thinking about what you are here to do. It is all possible. All things are possible through Christ who strengthens us. Vision maximizes life. When most people think of a concept like utopia, they roll their eyes, and which makes sense, of course. Most people live in the drift, and such concepts can't survive there. What survives in the drift is playing small, minimizing, and cynicism. Most people, not you, of course, because you're savvy and you're here in the Momentum Show and you're reading this book, are living a life that's good, fine, okay, with a lot of to-dos. A life full of obligations and have-tos. I have to take my kids to school. I have to pick up the dry cleaning. I have to go to work. I have to pay my bills and taxes. Most people live in a place of good, fine, okay. Their job's okay. Their kids are good. Their spouse is fine. Just for fun and illustration, let's say our kids go to school together and I run into you on the street and we have this conversation. Me. Hi, John. Good to see you. How are you doing? You. Okay, Michael, I'm fine. Me. How's work? You. It sucks right now, but I'm hanging in there. Gotta make those donuts, Me. How are your kids? I saw Nick at football practice yesterday when I was picking up Savannah from cheerleading. He's got a rocket for an arm. Yeah. His mom's worried about him playing football, but what are you going to do? Good to see you, Michael. Got to go pick up the dog from the vet. Sound familiar? How often do you have this kind of conversation? Please note, if I run into you on the street, I will be more than likely probe and ask questions to connect you with a deeper level. To do so is in alignment with my vision. This is a normal everyday conversation. It's the way we live and communicate in society. The point is, there's nothing wrong with good, fine, okay life, but it's not a vision-driven life. And it's not a life that creates master leaders. This conversation occurs with minimal authenticity, depth, or real connectivity. It's complete autopilot. So question, are you on autopilot in your life right now? Are you on autopilot with your business right now? Are you waking up, just sort of like going through, letting the day drive you, letting the day pull you hither and thither, versus you waking up with intention, with authority, with the declaration that this is what I'm going to create today. This is what's going to happen. Think about it. For contrast, let's imagine that a conversation like this happens when I'm on the golf course. Joe. Hey, Michael, how's your wife? How's Hillary? Me, making direct eye contact with Joe. Hey, Joe, thank you for asking. I want to tell you something. Hillary is the most beautiful woman that's ever walked on the face of the earth. My wife is the most intelligent, generous, thoughtful, sexy, amazing human being I have ever met. I literally pinching myself that I get to have this relationship. I'm the luckiest man alive. Thank you for asking. And let me tell you, that's not hyperbole. Like literally, this is how Michael communicates. When we were in our sessions, he tells you all the time, I am in love with my wife. That's intention. How you see yourself, how you see your life, how you express the things that are happening in your life and happening for you. It's not just meh, so. It's one of those reasons why I absolutely reject out of hand the idea of, hump day. Why is Wednesday hump day? Every day, Momentum crew, hear me loud and clear. Every day is a day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be exceedingly glad in it. We're not desperate for Friday to come. Oh my God, I can't wait for the weekend. Because what are you saying? The entire Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was what? A train wreck? You couldn't wait to escape your life that whole week. You're so desperate for the weekend. Every day is a day that the Lord made. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad in it. So we don't invite hump day in for coffee nor tea. We don't talk to hump day. We have nothing to do with it because that's a slap in God's face. I digress. Can you imagine that conversation happening on the golf course or by the water cooler in the office? I'm one of only a few men I know that would answer the question that way. It's true. You know what men talk about on the golf course? They talk about sports, money, business, the stock market, and yes, sometimes women, but they don't talk about their wives and how much they love them. Some of them don't even wear their wedding rings. I never take my wedding ring off. I don't take my ring off because I'm in love with my wife, right? Didn't I tell you he says that all the time? My ring is a constant symbol and reminder of my commitment, devotion, and fidelity. I don't minimize my relationship with my wife. I celebrate it. I maximize it because it's my vision to create an unprecedented, unimaginable life with her. It is possible to bring alive a vision for your life, your relationships, and your future that doesn't include minimizing, right? We're not minimizing any days of the week. We're not minimizing the things that we get to do. We're not minimizing anything. We are miracles of God. We get to be in celebration every single day that we get to draw breath, that we are 6 feet above this earth, walking around with the ability. Think about this. The only species with the ability of conscious thought, reasoning, emotions, and speech. Do you think like that was a mistake? That God couldn't have given the caribou the ability to speak? He couldn't have given the donkey the ability to speak? It was intentional because we are set apart. We are special. We are created in his likeness. We were created just below the angels. Angels have infinite power. Angels fight in the army of God. So if we're just below, if angels are here and we're just below here, hello, somebody. We're magnificent creatures and we get to walk around like we know that. We get to create unimaginable, unprecedented, irrationally over the top, beautiful, joy-filled lives. We're not scrounging around on the earth, slinking on our bellies. We get to walk upright, think, speak, feel, and speak. Miracle. It is possible to bring alive a vision for your life, your relationships, and your future that doesn't include minimizing. You can bring alive a vision that maximizes and accentuates your experience, that brings out your highest form of being, your best version of yourself. Actually, that's the only way to create magic. That's possible and available in your personal relationships because emotions and feelings play a central role in the quality of the experience. Let me know what's landing for you. What are you hearing me say? What are you taking away so far from this distinction number one about the vision. Do you see how Michael's vision is directly correlated to how he has conversations with people in the streets, people on the golf course? Because if you say you're this empowerment force for women, for people, for children, for whomever, for business owners, you don't get to walk around minimized and inferior. Like it doesn't compute. Like if you were writing code, you would get an error message. Because the vision is what's guiding you. The vision is what's informing how you show up in the world. Right? So many times I see people say, "Oh, I'm an empowerment coach and I empower women and I do." And then you look at them in their expression of themselves and you think, I'm not seeing that mirrored back to me. And then they wonder why nobody's signing up for their programs, why nobody is signing up for their coaching sessions, because it's inauthentic. And until you recognize and realize, let me stop for a second. Until you recognize and realize the direct correlation between what it is that you say you're about and how you actually show up, you're going to always be in a state of muddled confusion. If I say I'm a health coach, I'm all about health and wellness, helping people live their best lives, and I am on the BMI scale, technically morbidly obese, there is dissonance. If you do your blood work and your health markers are off the charts in the wrong direction, you have no license to speak, to talk to other people about their health and their health markers. And what do you know? David Ogilvy, shout out to everybody at Ogilvy Mather. This is where I started my career in advertising back in 1994. Wrote a book, and in the book, one of the biggest things, the consumer is not a moron. The consumer is not a moron. Somebody hashtag that. The consumer is not a moron. And what does that mean? It means you get to understand that the people for whom you are trying to invite into your business, into your programs, they're not idiots. They're not morons. They are discerning, well able to see the difference between black and white people. And you get to treat them as such. You get to treat them with the respect that they deserve. So if you think that, oh, I don't know anything about this topic, but I'm just going to wing it. I read a couple of books and I watched a couple of YouTubes. I'm going to go out there and claim myself as it. Yeah, I can help you get fit for, your CrossFit sessions. And you've never done CrossFit yourself. You've never coached anyone into completing their CrossFit routines in whatever record time. You've done none of it. But yet you're saying it. You can't do a bear crawl to save your life. The people see right through that. The people are not morons. So authenticity, big distinction, which will be coming up. Authenticity, huge, massive, 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 massive. Hello, beautiful Brenda. How is life in Florence? Thanks for joining, my love. So you get to be authentic. You get to be authentic because you get to recognize that the people are not morons, right? So just really presence yourself to that, because that's a huge part, especially when it comes for business and you're wondering like nothing's working. Nothing's working. Check yourself. You know that saying, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself. Am I showing up authentically? Am I an expression of what it is that I say I do? Am I mirroring the part? Very, very important. So, envisioning your unimaginable life. I create my vision for my unimaginable life, meaning beyond my wildest dreams. Beyond my wildest dreams. Continually, and anyone can use this method. I look into the future and view it without blinders, without limitation, without barbed wire, without filtering it through the past interpretation and experiences. I look at my life and visualize how the future will be if it is exactly the way I want it to be for myself and the world around me. And then I use all my tools to create it. Most of us do a fabulous job of conjuring up the many obstacles that might get in the way of achieving our wildest dreams, because that's what we learn in the drift. The drift says, be careful, don't get too excited. The light at the end of the tunnel is a train. They're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Our minds are tools that invite us to dream of anything and anything. They're not just information gathering devices that stuck in data, analyze it, and spit it back out. Our minds are tools of creativity. And I use mine like a brush to paint my future, a future that is rich, deep, meaningful, purposeful, a future where I joyfully experience the full expression of who I am, like a 3-year-old. In my vision of the future, I have access to any and all the ways of being that are necessary to create the life I'm envisioning. A future that is unprecedented, unimaginable, and so profound that even seeing it at the highest level of imagination is beyond my wildest dreams. A visionary master leader is someone who brings the future into the present, not once, not twice, but consistently. Consistently. So we learned that master leaders, when it comes to vision, they're sitting in the future right now. They're sitting in the future right now. When they're thinking about, when they're creating what it is that their life gets to look like, what do they get to do? They go into the future, see it, and be that right now. One of the most difficult, one of the most challenging things for people to get their head around, because as we learned in the leadership program, everybody's walking around with their suitcase of baggage from the past and refusing to set it down. Think about when you're getting on an airplane. And of course, we know your overhead luggage, your carry-on cannot be more than 22 inches. But you are insisting that your 26-inch suitcase comes on board with you. And we're saying, no. There is a place for the baggage that's in the belly of the plane. And you're like, nope, you're fighting everything that you can fight to say, no, this gets to come with me. And guess what? It doesn't fit in the overhead. It doesn't fit in the seat in front of you. So guess what? You're going to get booted off the plane. If you carry on and act a fool in the streets, you likely get banned from the airline. You can't fly anymore because you're a disruptive passenger. When the easy, simple thing, and listen, I'm not saying checking bags is easy. Let me tell you, I did that this past week. I went out to Wisconsin. Shout out to my client, Tony Matson. She's a CEO and founder of Trinity Equestrian Center, do beautiful work for veterans. They use equine therapy to help veterans struggling with PTSD. So we did her brand shoot last weekend, and I had to do check on because, I had more stuff. The baggage drop situation now post-COVID is a hot mess. You go to the stand and you put your information in, you get to, that the baggage tag gets printed off and you get to put it on, make sure you're putting it on the right way with the little stickies and all those things. And then you join a really long line called bag drop. And then you meander your way through that line. And then you finally get up there and then your bag goes on. So yeah, is it a process? Sure. But guess what? If I want to be hands-free, if I want to have an easy, relaxed flight, if I want to be able to move about the plane with the comfort that I'm accustomed to, I'm not fighting anybody to say, listen, I have really important stuff in this suitcase. I get to take it on with me. You're making your life more difficult for no good reason, just for what? To be right. This is when we talk about getting the ego out of the way. So we're thinking what? The vision. It's not optional. It is essential. It is mandatory. It's where it all begins. So Momentum Crew, I'm asking the question now. I want to see responses in the chat. Answer this question. Do you currently have a vision statement that is written, typed, handwritten, printed on a piece of paper somewhere in your possession, in your files, in your home, in your office, wherever? I just want to see yes or no. Do you have a vision statement? So remember, I read the one early at the top of the hour. And I'm not even asking you to qualify whether it's insightful or good or not. The question right now, do you have one? Okay. So Lisa says no. Karen says yes on the vision statement. Sharon, yes. Okay, perfect. Who else? Everybody gets to answer this. And again, this is a safe zone. You've come here, right? Because you are looking for support. This is why I do the show. So people can have access to me, if they're not in any one of my coaching programs. This is my way of giving back. So don't be sitting on the sidelines. Okay, Brenda says yes. It's in her computer. Who else? Don't be shy. I see many of you. Lisa, I love your authenticity. Lisa says, yes, I feel like I'm wandering in the desert. And we're going to fix. Yeah, I know what you meant, babes. we're going to fix that. There's no more loitering in the streets. Right? You have a purpose and you've got places to be. You're not on the street corner waiting to see what's going to happen next. Your vision for the world is your guiding light. Your vision for the world, your vision statement is your North Star. It is the thing that helps you just get so clear and anchored into your way of being. So again, if you say you are in health and wellness and you are going to empower people all over the world, your vision is to eradicate obesity in this world. My God, who has that vision statement? Like, that's massive. So that's not just about you saying, I want to get rich selling my yoga mats. That might be part of it, but that's not the main thing. Your main bigger purpose, remember Michael talked about the win-win, is that your mission through your vision statement of eradicating obesity is through your fitness, through your yoga, through your courses, your programs, your retreats, whatever. The mission articulates how are you going to go about getting this vision to be made manifest. But right now we're just focusing on the vision. It is the destination that you put into your GPS when you get into your car and you want to go somewhere. You cannot just sit in a car and tell your GPS, just drive. This is not the movies, and this is not when you see somebody get into a cab, in New York City and just say, drive. That doesn't work in real life. You have to put in your destination in your GPS, lock it in, and then hit go. Because even when you put the address in, you still have to hit the start button. But what we're doing, most of us, is having no clear direction, having no clear vision, having no vision, and then we're just going, right? So we're like little, mice in a maze, just trying to see which way to go. I know there's cheese in here somewhere, but I'm going to try here. I'm going to try here. Doesn't work. Vision. All right, we're going to read one more and then I'm going to give you your assignment. Okay. What do you want? What do you want for your family, for your business or career, for the world? What do you want the substance of your life to be about? What do you stand for? Start with a blank slate, a blank canvas, a blank sheet of paper, and begin to articulate your life. You have unlimited ways to create and craft your vision, and countless books and websites dedicated to the how-tos of doing so. If you'd like a future creating tool, there are several leadership training centers on the resource page in the back of the book, and you can research tools and apps online, find one that resonates with you. Imagine yourself in the future. So when you get your journal, when you get your notepad, where you're going to start, articulating the vision, you're not sitting currently at your desk, at 10:42 in the US, in Florence, Italy, in India. You are in the future, 5 years, 10 years from now. So important that you let your mind know where you are so it starts to create from that space. Very important. Imagine yourself into the future, 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 years out, both personally and professionally. What is the life of your dreams? You have no limitations here. This is such a difficult notion for many people. When we say in our ideation sessions, it's a blue sky session. That means blue skies for as far as the eye can see. Go. There's no ceiling. There's no limit. Nothing. Just it's blue skies. Right. What is the life of your dreams? You have no limitations. Somebody hashtag no limitations. Everybody hashtag no limitations. Because when you write that, your brain also, let me just say a quick thing on why it's important to write and journal. The art of writing, the act of writing, as you're writing it, your brain, your eyes are seeing what you're writing and processing. Your brain also has to think on the thing that you are writing. It's automatic. So if you start off by saying 10 years out into the future is where you're writing from, I am a New York Times best-selling author. As you're writing that, your brain immediately starts to think that. So there's that connection between the brain and the arm, right? Do you see the direct connection? So as you write, your brain has to think it. And once your brain thinks it, as Bob Proctor says, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Trust and believe and know the truth that if you can visualize something, that means it's possible. It can be done. Who knows the story of Mr. Ford and his engineers when he was creating his automobile, that he wanted to have his 8-cylinder vehicle with all 8 cylinders in one block? Who knows that story? Yeah. Thank you, Karen. No limitations. Thank you, Lisa. No limitations. I want you to walk around your house saying that. There are no limitations on me. There are no limitations on me. I am limitless. Even better. I am limitless. Somebody hashtag that. I am limitless. So Ford saw it in his mind. He saw all 8 cylinders in one block in the engine of the car. So he saw that in his mind. He visualized that. He went to the engineers and said, for the next vehicle coming off the assembly line, yes, Lisa, I am limitless. Yes, you are. Yes, Karen, I am limitless. Yes, you are. Yes, Brenda, I am limitless. Yes, you are. Let me affirm you. You are limitless because you are God's creation. Therefore, ipso, ergo, facto, you are limitless. So he saw in his mind an engine block with all 8 cylinders in one casing. Went to the engineers and said, next manufacturing to do, 8 cylinders in one block. And now remember, now these are engineers. They're smart. They're intelligent. Yes, I am limitless, Sharon. Yes, you are. Said, not possible. That is not possible. And because Ford was so anchored into his vision, this is where you get to understand the power of having a vision, that it's yours and can't nobody take it from you, lest you give up your power, lest you sit in victim stories and reasons and excuses and give away your power that God himself has given to you. And we know that is never a good thing when you give away gifts from God. Right. Right. Shout out to all the analyzers in the house. So he says, yeah, 8 cylinders in one block. And they're like, yeah, no. And he was like, yeah, it's going to happen. Go do it. He basically got into his, like, I'm the CEO of me energy. Right. Go do it. And they're mumbling and grumbling. It's not possible. It's not possible. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Because don't forget now, Ford only had, I think, if I'm mistaken, somebody, maybe a 6th grade education. But he was a visionary because he locked into what was in his mind. What was the gifting and the anointing from God is greater than any higher education. Let me just say that to you. A year later, they're still like, yep, nope, not going to happen. Can't do it. And he sent them back. He sent them back. Moral of the story, they came back. Oh, we found a way. We found a way, and Ford got his 8 cylinders in one engine block. History. Icon, giant, titan of industries, Ford, visionary. So when I say that you are limitless, I encourage you to anchor into these stories of real people who had real challenges, real situations, but because they so anchored into their vision of what they saw as possible, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. And it was done. It was made manifest, and so it is, and so it was. So let's see, right from the point of view that it's happening now, as if you're in the future right now. So if part of your seeing yourself 5-10 years out is that you're a New York Times bestselling author, so happy and grateful now that I'm a New York Times bestselling author. My book has been translated into over 100 languages. I am touring across the globe lecturing on this topic of the eradication of obesity. I'm invited to colleges. Next week, I'm going to be speaking at Harvard Medical School to talk. You are limitless. So yeah, you get to go teach at Harvard. Do you see what I'm talking about? Vision. Because if you can see it, if that is something that is a burning desire, now remember, we're not just talking about ideas and like, oh, that'd be cute. And it's coming from here. If you are so fired up, this obesity epidemic in this country is a nightmare. And we walk around just accepting it as if it were so, and I am not here for that. And so every fiber of your being, every chance you get to speak, you are educating, you are informing, you're entertaining all around the topic of what the dangers of obesity are. It's not just you can't fit in your skinny jeans. It has nothing to do with your clothes. It has to do with having metabolic syndrome, where you've got fatty liver and you've got fatty pancreas and how it works. And that you're so fired up about it that you're teaching, you're informing, you're educating people. Because here's one of the things. People are not just, unhealthy because they want to be, they're uneducated. They don't know. Like, I just was reading the book, The Diabetic Code, had no clue that the liver, the only organ that can process fructose. And that fructose is found in sugar, but it's also found in fruit, and it's also found in high fructose corn syrup. And guess what? Every single bloody thing that we eat, if you don't eat clean, organic, natural, has high fructose corn syrup. You get to be that beacon of light of information and go around and educate people. Because if you're that fired up, if that is your vision, that I get to eradicate obesity from the face of the earth, you are on fire about it. Not just a nice to have, like, it's a Monday, maybe I'll do a little movement Monday and talk about it. And then 2 weeks, you're off to something else, or nobody sees you, or you're not really seeking opportunities to get on stages to educate and inform the people. Vision. Write it from the point of view that it is happening now, as if you are in the future right now. Write it down and describe it in detail. What country you're in? What hotel did you stay at? What did you have for dinner? Oh, I had this great moment where the waiter came over and he was serving X, Y, and Z, and I took that opportunity to talk about high fructose corn syrup and what it meant for blah, blah. Write it in detail. The point is to use your tools, your mind, and hands to begin to get your vision out of your head and ultimately in some physical form. As you paint that picture and create your utopian life, you must see it and experience it fully, right down to the color of the plush rugs in your dream home, to the new car smell of your black hardtop convertible BMW with the Harman Kardon stereo. In your vision, you already know the touch of your future partner. Have the career of your dreams and determine your own abundant income. Be sure to include the emotional experiences you want in the life of your dream. What do you want? Is it love, connectivity, passion, intimacy, fun, adventure, freedom, joy, and energy, fulfillment, satisfaction, something else? It's your future. You choose. Do you have a separate vision for your personal and professional lives? Get specific. Master leaders are convinced that the reality of their creation will materialize in measurable results. To reach mastery, it is essential to continually recognize the power of creative imagery, to practice it, and to know without a doubt that you and you alone are the author of your future. You are source. Know what you want, see your perfect utopian life, and be in continuous creation of it and relationship with it. As we say in church, here endeth the lesson. We're going to wrap here today. And with the 5 minutes remaining, I want you to really get centered. I want you to have that piece of paper. I want you to start it with me right now, and you can finish it. And if you're not in the Savvy Branders tribe for any reason, this is the name. Find it on Facebook. Get your request in to join, and I will let you in, or somebody from the team will let you in. But either way, you'll get in. And you're going to share the beginnings, the middle, wherever you are. You get to start. This is one of the biggest challenges is we're waiting for the right setting of the sun. We're waiting for the right angle of the moon. We're waiting for the right temperature before we get started. And perfectionism is a myth. And I forget who I heard say this. Perfectionism is boring. I think it was our co-captain. Perfection is boring. So start. Write your vision. Write your vision, start your vision, start your vision, start your vision. And so you're going to start off. Let me just put this here. My vision for the world is. And why I want you to start it that way is because remember, Michael talked about it's a win-win, right? It's not just about you, it's about you and the world. It's a both and. So by starting first with the world, it anchors you when you already know it's not just about you. So the continuation of that statement already has you thinking outward. As our captain used to say, focus out. What do you want to see? Look around. What do you want to see? Go within. What has God called you to do? Who has he called you to be? And get quiet. I'm not saying you're going to get the answer in the next 3 minutes. In fact, you likely won't. But I want you to start. I want you to commit right now. And if you're writing, I don't care if you're writing right now on a napkin because you didn't see the promo to get a journal. I don't care if you're writing on the back of your hand, in front of you, wherever. I want you to commit to starting. This is one of the biggest winning strategies. Just go. Right? We know Nike says just do it. Because there's no perfection, like it's a myth. There's no perfectionism because you can always tweak, you can always write. When I was in the agency world and we'd be preparing for these big pitches to the clients. And at some point we had to say to the creative team, the copywriters and the art directors, okay, pencils down. Because we know we need time to get into the production, to create it, to create the big, huge boards, etc. Pencils down. Because left to their own devices, they would be tweaking and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking forever. Let's change this color, this font. Let's put a shadow, drop shadow 25%. No, too much. Let's do 20%. It would go on. So right now, my vision for the world is, what is God calling you to do? Beyond, I want to have a lot of money and travel the world. Because that's going to come anyway. That's just going to be the byproduct. You know the story of Solomon, right? David's son, King David's son. When he took over as king, and he had all of the children of Israel, who pretty much outnumber the world, the rest of the population in the world, he was like, God, you have given me all of these people to rule over as king. His vision was about how to be the best leader, king, ruler for Israel. That's what he asked for. Wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Because he was focused out on the people. And that so pleased God that he said, Solomon, you didn't ask me for riches. You didn't ask me for girls. You didn't ask me for any of that. You asked me, how do I become a better leader for your chosen people, God? He said, so I'm going to give you wisdom, understanding, untold. I mean, people are traveling from all over the world to experience his knowledge and intellect. And because you focused out, because you were focused on the people, I am also going to give you wealth, riches, abundance. Listen to me. Solomon had so much wealth, so much gold, so much bronze. In the Bible, it says it could not be counted. Do you understand that kind of wealth? You got so much. The Bible is it couldn't be counted because Solomon focused out. Solomon had a vision for the people. Solomon had a vision for the people. Yeah. Hashtag dang. So let that be your example today, Momentum Crew. Get to writing the vision. You focus out. God created you for a purpose, not to eat bonbons, and watch Netflix, though that's good and you get to do that. Let Solomon be your guide. When you focus out on what the real work is, all the other fun stuff come along anyway. So that's why I said to you, don't even worry about the money in the those are byproducts. Solomon's gold, his wealth, his bronze, those were the byproducts. So much wealthiest king. I mean, he had peace all around him. No enemies, nobody is attacking him because he focused out, he focused on his vision. The only thing he cared about is, how do I be a better leader? My vision for the world is to be the best leader for God's chosen people. Momentum crew, I love you so much. We are at time. Go into the Savvy Branders Tribe, start your vision statement. This is important stuff. Nothing else matters. If you don't have this, everything else you're doing, remember, you're just mice in a maze. I love you more than you know. Thank you for showing up for me always. Be so inspired. Remember last week when I said, Jesus says you have not because you ask not, I reached out to Michael and I said, hey, Michael, we're reading your book this month. Would you be open to coming on to the show? And he said, of course, Faith, of course. So Michael Strasner will be here. So you get to go run tell that, because that's a huge, huge deal. This is a master trainer who I just can't even, I'm going to save it. His story is amazing. He's inspiring. He's a joy. He's a gift. And he is coming on this show. You want to be here. You want to get to talk to him. You want to get to ask him questions. So go into the Savvy Branders Tribe, start writing your vision. Be so inspired. I love you. I love you. I love you. Go be awesome.
No one ever sees me.